What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is my review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 4. So, look, okay, y'all, we're just gonna go ahead and run through this because it just won't that. It won't what it was. Let's just talk about what it is. So we have a yoga scene between Cynthia, Mao, and Kenya. And they talk about the wedding situation and how Kenya sort of blew up last week and her and Mike had their little situation. And Kenya, being Kenya, told her point blank, like, girl, you more concerned about this wedding getting on the show than you are about marrying your man. If you said y'all gonna get married on 10-10-20, she said you done told the whole world that y'all getting married on 10-10-20, and now all of a sudden, if you can't have the big wedding that you want to have for the show, now all of a sudden you got a problem. And of course, you know Cynthia ain't like that. And I was surprised that the producers left this in here, because Cynthia was like, well, if you want to break the fourth wall, let's just break the fourth wall. And you know, the producers didn't tell me when I had to have my wedding. I don't care where we have our wedding, but this is what I want. This is what I want. Girl, Kenya was like, yeah, right. Stop playing. Like, if you, and she said, what Mike is hearing is, I don't want to marry you if we can't have a show. And for you to say, well, let's go back to the drawing board if I can't get what I want, then what that says to Mike is you care more about this wedding and more about this whole show than you care about me. Now, Cynthia kind of blew up, and here's what Cynthia said, and this is what Cynthia always does when she feel like people are not saying what she wants to hear. I just need you to be on my side. I just need you to be on my side. No, you need to hear the truth. You need to hear the truth. It's not about being on my side. It's about what's true, and that's what you need to hear. You need to hear the truth. And as much as Kenya get on my nerves, and before this show's over, we're going to get there, Kenya's giving you some real. And Miles is giving you some real. And Cynthia, by the time it was over with, Cynthia was like, okay, well, I receive it. I receive it. I hear what y'all are saying. I receive it. Now, later on, she said that things with her and Mike are a lot better because she did take back what they said. And she talked to him about it. She said, well, I wasn't hearing that. I didn't realize that that's how he was hearing it. I didn't realize he was hearing it that way. Well, girl, he told you that's how he heard it. He said that, listen. Mike said the exact same thing to you that Kenya said. I mean, he didn't bring up the show part, at least not on camera, he didn't. But he said the exact same thing about, do you want to marry me or do you want to have a marriage? Like, what is it that you want? Moving on. So then we have Kenya and Kandi going out to lunch. And this was where supposedly that infamous statement was made that Kenya supposedly made about Porsha. Now, either they edited it out or my ears just heard it wrong the first time. And she did make some comments about Porsha and about Porsha getting arrested and worrying about, but the way that it was edited was that she was saying she was worried about it being safe. Worried about it being safe. Why is she out here protesting without a mask on? She has to go home to her daughter. Now, listen. Again, I gotta agree with Kenya on that one. I ain't mad at you, Kenya. I ain't mad at you at all. Because listen, as much as I was down for the cause and I was here for my people, I got a pre-existing condition. So what I couldn't be is I'm out there with all them people with no mask on. Same thing when they finally declared Biden a winner. Had we not been in the middle of a global pandemic, I'd have been down there in front of the White House just like everybody else. But man, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and so therefore that cannot be what it is gonna be. Moving on. They talked about Cynthia getting married. They was like, yeah, you know, Cynthia, she got a little coin this time, so maybe she ready to spend it. Okay, maybe she ready to spend it. Then Porsha said she feels so bad about what happened last year, about how she almost let the cat out the bag about Cynthia's proposal, that she wanted to make it up to her by having an engagement party for her. Girl, they about to get married. How you gonna have a surprise engagement party? Because, girl, they about to get married. I could see if you said bridal shower, but engagement party? They've been engaged a year. So then she gonna tell Kandi, I want you to help me with it. I have an event planner and everything, but can you send out the invitations? Because I know if you send them out, they're gonna get to everybody. Now, Kandi, because Kandi, you know, Kandi, she wasn't born that, you know, last night. Kandi said, so basically what you saying is you want me to send out the invitations because if I send them out, because if you send them out, ain't nobody gonna come. You want me to put my name on it so that everybody will show up? Because if you put your name on it, ain't nobody gonna come. That's what you're saying? Then they had this whole conversation with Kandi, and I liked Kandi's little confessional look, that little green with the slick back with the little flip up hairdo. That was cute, Kandi. But then they had a conversation about Kenya and Toya and them having a whole, bi-curious situation, bi-curious moment going on. I don't know. Is that what's going on, Kenya? Like, you done with men right now, and so is that what's going on here? Is that what the situation is? And I caught how supposedly or allegedly what's her name? Kandi bought a girl on the show, bought Toya on the show, but underneath Toya's name it says Kenya's friend. I peeped that. That's the same thing they did with Tanya. And ain't it? Didn't Nene bring Tanya on the show, but then they changed Tanya's caption after a while? Ciao. Anyway. So, then we see, okay, so that was pretty much that conversation. Okay. Then we have Drew and her husband. They're going to counseling. Now, she said that they have been to counseling many, many times. They've been to couples counseling. They've been to this counseling, that counseling. And she said that every time her husband, the counselors give them homework, and then her husband ends up basically quitting the counseling. So this is going to be different. How? Anyway, they're in the counseling session, and one of the issues that Drew brings up is she says that she feels like her husband treats her son different than the daughter that they have together biologically, because her oldest son is not his biological child. That's an issue. That's a major issue. If you are in a blended family and you feel like one of the parents treats another child differently, that's an issue. That's an issue. He brought up the fact that growing up, his father... Now, he said that he grew up in a single home and his father left. So I'm thinking like his father was like a deadbeat, was never around, wasn't a part of their life. And he was saying how I sort of had to take that on, and I had to sort of become the father, the man of the house, and I had to take care of my mom, and I felt unappreciated. And I felt like my mother didn't appreciate me. And so I told her, you know what, fine, man. If you don't appreciate me, then I'm going to go live with my father. And so I'm like, so that means your daddy wasn't paying some child support or something? Like, why you got to go talk? Like, I was a little confused by that. But then he said, and it wasn't until my mother got evicted that she apologized to me and she appreciated all that I was doing. So you moved out knowing that your mother probably couldn't carry the bills without you. And let's be clear, I don't think it was his responsibility to pay the bills. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that it was his job to pay the bills or his responsibility to pay the bills. But the way he said it was so much like venom to it. Like, yeah, I'm going to show you. I know what's going to happen if I leave. And that's what happened. And so the counselor was like, Drew, did you hear what he said? That the only time he ever got a sincere apology from his mother was when he left. And so when y'all get into an argument, that's why he leaves. Girl, he leaves because he got his other boo thing on the other side of town. That's why he leaves. Okay? Let's not make no excuses for his bad behavior. He leaves because he got a boo thing on the other side of town. Your body's here with me. When they say your mind is here with me, but your body's on the other side of town, however the words go, child. Either way, he ain't there because he don't want to be there. And you stop making excuses for him. Moving on. What happened after that, child? So here's where I guess we get into a lot of the crux of the episode. Because the whole last 15 minutes, they could have cut down to 3, but whatever. So Lauren is having a surprise party for Porsha to basically just say thank you for all that you've been doing. Thank you for all that you've done for the cause, for all the, just to acknowledge what she's done. And so Lauren is making phone calls, inviting everybody. So when she calls Kenya was like, when she calls Cynthia, and Cynthia's like, oh, cool. Well, can I invite can I invite Cynthia? Kenya. And Lauren hesitates and was like, you know what, I don't know. I'm a little on the fence by that because I only want good vibes. I only want positive thoughts. Like, I just don't know. And Cynthia was like, well, I mean, she'll be on her best behavior. I mean, it's for a good cause. I mean, and so Lauren hesitantly agrees to let her come. She's very hesitant about it. Then, Kenya calls Cynthia. Cynthia calls Kenya and invites her, lets her know whatever. And she tells her, I need you to be on your best behavior, girl. And she was like, I am. I mean, why would I do anything? You know, I wouldn't do anything bad. Unfortunately, Drew's husband's father passed away. And so we did see that. And I do send my condolences, even though I be giving you the side eye a lot. I don't wish that on nobody, and he did look like he was really broken up about it and really upset. And so we saw that again when reality TV meets reality, right? That's what happens. So Tanya shows up, honey, in her custom matte finish Rolls Royce to pick Porsha up to go take her out to get her out the house so they could get this party together. And everybody's in on it. And they got her out. They meet up with Marlo to have, you know, some food and all that good stuff. They went to a little juice cafe, honey. And, you know, they're talking or whatever. And they do talk a little bit about Dennis and the relationship between her and Dennis and how they're not together, but they are still co-parenting, and how he, you know, is trying to win her back with Chanel bags, and how she liked the Chanel bags, but she don't want to give him false hope, honey. She don't want to give him false hope. And Marla was like, girl, y'all gonna be back together. Ain't nobody worried about the two of y'all. Y'all gonna be back together next week. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Now, while this is going on, Lauren calls Cynthia back and says, you know what? I sort of thought about it a little bit more, and I decided that, yeah, I don't want Cynthia to come. Dang it, I keep saying Cynthia. I don't want Kenya to come. So Cynthia ended up having to call Kenya and tell Kenya, girl, yeah, they changed their mind. They don't, you know, she don't want you to come. And you could tell that Cynthia felt, you know, awkward about it. Because, I mean, who wants to be put in that position? And she said, you know, it's just, you know, you be doing a lot. You be doing a lot, and we just don't know if we want you there. Now, she did buy a gift for little Pilar's birthday party, a Rosa Parks doll, which I thought was really cute. And so she said she would bring it with her. And, of course, it would be appropriate for what we celebrating at the time. Girl, Kenya was so mad. She turned to production and was like, did y'all know about this? And they was like, nah, we just found it out. So this was clearly not something that was part of production. It wasn't planned. Kenya was like, well, somebody gonna pay for my hair and makeup. I done got this whole beat and this whole hairdo. Somebody gonna pay for that. And so she was upset. And you could tell, see, here's one of them situations where the chickens come home to roost, okay? Your bad behavior, Kenya, people are sick of it. And when it comes down to people like Lauren, who are not really on the show and they ain't obligated to invite you to shit, there it is. So she calls Kandi back to let Kandi know she wasn't coming. And Kandi told her, like, Kandi was like, well, girl, you do be doing a lot. And so then what did Kenya do? She started putting 20 on 10. It started talking about how Porsha ain't really, you know, this whole Black Lives Matter act, and she's doing the most. And see, and so Kandi was like, well, maybe this is the reason why you don't. She said, well, I know how to act. I grin and bear it all the time. And so y'all know shady ass Bravo. They started showing every situation where Kenya acted a fool, including Kenya more hair care. Like, they showed all the times that Kenya did show up and didn't know how to act. And I can absolutely see Lauren's point. And I ain't mad at Lauren. And kudos to you, Lauren, for saying, girl, what you're not going to do is mess up my sister party. And you can act a fool with other places, but you won't act a fool here with me. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. But Kenya was definitely in her feelings about it. And again, Kenya, I need you to self-reflect that your bad behavior, yes, it makes for good TV, but it comes to a point in time where if people don't have to deal with you, they ain't going to deal with you. Whoever did this party for production, because Lauren ain't do that, it was nice. It was a really, really nice party. This whole setup. They had pictures of Porsha. They had pictures of her grandfather. They had pictures of the two of them together. It was actually a really, really nice party. Everybody wore black. Now, Kandi, Kandi. Kandi. With your afro puffs and your black lipstick looking like an extra from the movie Panther, you was doing a lot, Kandi. You was doing a lot. Okay. All you was missing was the leather jacket and the beret. Okay. You was doing a lot, Kandi. But okay. So Toya shows up and the other new girl, what's the other new girl's name? Pascal. Y'all know, I know y'all gonna tell me in the comments. What that girl name? Y'all tell me what the girl name is. Toya, of course, was being extra. Is it? No. Who was it? Anyway, I'm trying to remember the girl's name. Anyway, the one where they went to go swim in they went to go swim. Why Toya gonna say, she was talking about her husband and the kids that her husband had. She was like, he older, ain't he? And she was like, yeah, my husband's 50. She was like, I knew he was. And she was like, why would you assume that my husband was older? I mean, you just look like the kind of woman that date older men. First of all, what the fuck does that mean? And second of all, so then she was like, well, no, actually, he's the first older man I dated. Like, my ex-husband. She was like, he was older, wasn't she? And she was like, no, he wasn't. And like Kandi said in her confessional, have y'all figured out that LaToya is Kenya on steroids? Like, y'all ain't want Kenya there, but you got Toya there acting a damn fool. Okay, Toya. Alright. There can only be one Kenya on a show. There's not room for two. Okay. So they finally get Porsha there, and Porsha cries, and she's happy, and she gives a speech. And that's the end of the episode. You know why? Because that scene was entirely too long. Like, I appreciate you, Porsha. I love the growth I've seen in you. It's been wonderful. It's been great. And that's it. That's all I got, y'all. Real Housewives of Atlanta. Drop mic. I'm out.